Okay, we're gonna evaluate functions using the calculator. So you're gonna need your calculator, you're gonna need your spiral, your pencil, scissors, and glue. And so if you haven't already gotten the evaluating functions foldable, you need to get it. But first, how do you draw a mapping of a relation that's a function and one that is not a function? So pause the video and see if you can do that. Remember, mapping uses ovals and arrows. This one is going to be our function, and this one's going to be not our function. When we talked about functions, functions happen when each x value has only one y value. So 1 can only go to 4, 2 can only go to 4, and 3 can only go to 4. It doesn't matter that they all three go to 4 because 1 only has one output, 2 has one output, and 3 has one output. I'm going to switch these numbers around to be not a function because now I can say that 4 has an output of 1, it has an output of 2, and it has an output of 3, and so I've got a function and not a function. Yours didn't have to necessarily look like this. Just one of the numbers on the function needed to have more than one arrow coming from it. Evaluating functions. So we could evaluate this function by hand. Some of you may like it better evaluating it by hand, but we're going to use technology. So if we were to evaluate this by hand, this is f of -3 times f of 4, f of -1, f of 0, for f of x equals 3x squared minus 2x plus 1. If I did this by hand, f of x equals 3x squared minus 2x plus 1. If I want to find f of -3, that means every time I had an x, I would need to substitute the value of a -3 in it. So then I have to do -3 squared times 3, and then -2 times -3, and then add all those up. But there's the calculator that we can use. And so on the underside of that foldable, I want you to write these steps. Home. And then once you're at home, you're going to get a graph. And then we're going to put our function. So here's my calculator. I'm already at home. Graph. My function is 3x squared minus 2x plus 1. Once I put my function in there, I'm going to press enter. And then I need to go to the table. To go to the table, if you remember from last year, is menu 7, 1. So menu 7, 1. So I need to go across. I need to find x is 3. X is -3. So here's my x value right here. So I need to go on my x and find -3 and see what's across from -3. Well, f of -3 is going to be 34 because 34 is across from that. If we had multiplied all this out, I would get 34 because -3 squared is 9, 9 times 3 is 27. -2 times -3 is a positive 6, so 27 plus 6 is 33, plus 1 is 34. So now I need to find f of 4, so that means I'm going to go back to my calculator and I'm going to go find 4, and look what's across from 4. That's 41. Now f of -1, go back here, -1, across from -1 is 6, and then f of 0 across from 0 is 1. Pause the video, get it written down, and we're going to go to the next question. So before I go to the next question, I'm going to press X, and no, I don't want to save it so that we can get back to home. And here I have my function is right here. Here's my function. And so f of x and g of x are the same thing. So we don't go and change the f to a g, it's just g of x, 2, open parentheses, 3, where is this x? It is an exponent, so I'm going to raise it to the x minus 1, don't use a negative. And to get out of this exponent, I have to press the right arrow over, and then I'm going to close my parentheses, minus 5. Go back and rewatch this, make sure you're following along on this. So now I'm going to press enter, and I'm going to go to my table, menu 7, 1, and I need to find g of 1/2. Well, if you look, 1/2 should be in between 0 and 1. That's not on there. We're going to come back to it. But I can find g of -2. I'm going to go to -2, and that is -4.9, I'm going to round 3. And then I need g of 4. So go back down to 4, and across from 4 is 49. And then g of 0 is -4.3 with bar over. Okay, so now I need to find this. So on the underside, I need you to press menu. Hold on. I have to rethink about this. Menu. And then we're going to choose 2 for table. And then we're going to press 5 for edit table. So we're going to press 5. Now, where do I want it to start? Well, I need it to be 1/2. So I'm going to put 1 divided by 2, enter. The start is what we're looking for. And so across from 0.5 is -3.8. How many did I do? 4. Oops. After the 4 is a 5, so I'm going to change that 4 to a 5. And so there we have that. This is how we search in our table looking for the x value that's not on there. Get that all down. X and no. And we're going to go to the next one, which is given h of x. H of x is the same thing as f of x. -5x plus 3. I need to evaluate h of -3, but if h of x is 28, what is x? So first, we're going to go to this one. We're going to get a graph. And then we are going to type in -5x plus 3. I'm going to get a line. And so I'm going to go menu 7, 1. And so when I want to evaluate something, I have x and f of x. This time it's not an f of x, it's a h of x. It's the same thing. So here, this -3 replaced the x, so I'm going to put a -3. Now I'm looking for this. So I'm going to go to my table, and I'm going to go across from -3, and what's across from -3 is 18. So that means h of -3 equals 18. Now, the next part, that's part 1, here's part 2. If h of x is 28, so now this time, this h of x goes in the second column. So I need to figure out, if I know the h of x, what is the x? I'm looking for x. I don't know this part. So I need to use my calculator. And over here in the y, I need to look for 28. And so I'm going to go up because I see that oh, look, there's 28. When y is, or h of x is 28, my x is -5. There's part 1. Part 2, x is -5. You're going to be doing later this week an assignment about evaluating functions, and you're gonna need this table to help you out on that. If you have any questions, email me, ask away.